want some white? Hey mister, you want some white?
Whew. I really got to get used to doing that. Woo! Anyways, y'all all right? Y'all all right out there? Did anything happen tonight? Did anything happen tonight? I'm not sure if anything did happen tonight. Before I go any further, let me go ahead and give a shout out to the chat. What's going on, chat? JC in the building. What's going on? Match too big for America. What match y'all talking about? What happened? What happened tonight? What is it? What are you guys talking about? I have no idea what you guys are talking about. B Slim, what's going on? Boy, did that Miz comment from Pepsi Field age worse than Sunny. What are y'all talking about? I have no idea what you guys are talking about. I was just gonna come on here just to chat with y'all for a little bit. Twitter and Blue Sky was an all-timer tonight. What happened? What are y'all talking about? What do y'all want to talk about? Sweet Saudi blood money punk. What? I have no idea what you guys are talking about. Hashtag change. Whew. Anyways, what's going on, y'all? Apparently, a lot of stuff happened tonight. And man, oh man, oh man, I really wish I was on Twitter tonight. If there was any night that I would love to be on Twitter, it would have been tonight. But as always, guy out there got to make his money, coming home late, now doing a late night live. But surely you guys are live here tonight. So let's go ahead and talk about it. What you guys want to talk about? Well, let's first talk about what we talked about last night. So last night, I brought up the topic of the Night of Champions show that's coming up pretty soon, and it was going to be in Saudi Arabia. And I had the question on who is going to show up. Well, we got at least one answer on Raw tonight. And ladies and gentlemen, you guys will not believe this, but at Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia, it will be, yes, your eyes do not deceive you. It is going to be John Cena and CM Punk for the WWE title. Well, he said he's not here to make friends, but he's here to make money. And boy, oh boy, look at what money can do to you. Big shout out to Jim on the Discord. But look what happens when you're not here to make friends, but you're here to make money. My God. My God. My God. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Just when we thought we saw CM Punk just keep falling and falling each and every time, he's now going to Saudi Arabia. The dude who told Miz years ago, go suck a blood and money covered whatever. And he was so moral, just like all these other wrestlers out here. I'm so moral and this and that. But once them Saudis, the greatest, oh man, I pretty much forgot the word I was saying about the Saudis. I used to say it all the time, but pretty much remember back in the day when I used to say Vince McMahon is the greatest pimp of all time. Well, the Saudis, man, they got to be the greatest Johns of all time because the way they just make these people just come out in the damn open like this. From people like Sonya Deville, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, the list goes on and on and on. And CM Punk, to nobody's surprise at the end of the day, is going to Saudi Arabia to face John Cena for the WWE title. Now, as far as the match goes, I really don't have that much expectations, especially for 2025 John Cena. I even say that for 2025 CM Punk. But we'll see. We will see. But man, oh man, oh man. But at the end of the day, it's just a cautionary tale of all wrestlers are workers. You can't buy into the hype of what a lot of these wrestlers tell you. So moral, so grandstanding. But at the end of the day, when push comes to shove, they'll get tested and eventually they will fold. And CM Punk is no different in this scenario here. And really to be honest, if you really think about it, man, it's like Punk. I mean, like I pretty much said this like when he first came back to WWE, that dude had gotten neutered. The dude's neutered to death. And it's sad to see. The dude is neutered. Absolutely neutered here. From constantly having to take a back seat and just time after time. You know, the same pull he had in AEW, who definitely didn't have that in WWE, because we all know this is his last chance in professional wrestling, really, to be honest, unless someone like a TNA or something comes out there and breaks the bank to get him. And we not expecting that anytime soon. So pretty much right here, CM Punk has to play ball, and that includes going to Saudi Arabia. And nobody here is not going to convince me or any smart person that going to Saudi Arabia is a good idea, because we all know it's not. But hey, CM Punk ain't here to make friends. He's here to make money, right? And just like with this picture, this is what happens when you're just here to make money. You got to bow down to the master. One more for the good guys. Hashtag change. One more for the good guys. Hashtag change. Chat, if you in the chat, man, go ahead and put down one more for the good guys. Because how many times we got to tell these geeks out here? How many times we got to tell these geeks out here? We saw this coming. Let me go ahead and get to the chat before I get to the next thing here. Oh, man. I swear, man, this shit is hilarious. CM Karen trying to get that blood money payout before he either quits or gets fired. CM Punk is not the CM Punk of old. He definitely is not. One more for the good guys. One more for the good guys. Hashtag change. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Man, but that's not the only thing that happened tonight on Raw. That's not the only thing that happened tonight, because another thing we talked about last night was the R-Truth stuff. And I pretty much gave my spiel about the R-Truth character over the past 15 years. I poured my heart out in that little rant, I guess you would say, or monologue, however you want to say it. And I pretty much said that I'm just going to sit here and wait and see how they're going to do this. So, what ends up happening tonight? So on Raw, R-Truth is basically no more. R-Truth is no more. R-Truth has officially became Ron Killings. And I got to tell you, when I saw this promo, I was thoroughly surprised and I was impressed, even to the point where he cut off his dreads. Now, with how he cut off his dreads, especially how much he don't got that much hair left on his head, especially with him being over 50, I don't know what all that's going to look like here. But this was a very positive promo here. Now, for a lot of people out there that think that I just hate on WWE all the time, listen, pro wrestling is very subjective, but there's nothing wrong with trying to be objective at the same time. And that's what I'm doing right here. This was a really nice promo by Ron Killings. It gave me that old school vibe of Ron Killings back in TNA during his NWA World Title reign days, his early TNA days. So, yeah, I'll pretty much say that this was a very exceptional promo. I was very proud of watching this. And also the point of him saying that you guys think I'm a sideshow or anything like that. He was being very PC with it. he was being very PC with it, but I felt that part. Now, two questions though. The two questions I got now is this going to be a consistent thing? Is the WWE going to is the WWE going to flinch? Is the WWE going to flinch with this? Are they going to flinch with this? Is it going to get to a point where they're going to be like, I'm not sure if this is working, because we've seen this happen before. We've seen this happen before. We've seen this happen with the New Day. And I'm talking about when the New Day first started. The New Day wasn't doing all that twerking and cross-dressing and all that other garbage, that minstrel show bullshit that a lot of people were used to seeing over the years. Nah, the New Day was a serious group. They had some joy to them and all that other stuff, the power of positivity. And what happened? And again, listen, on this platform, we're going to keep it real here on this platform. I pretty much can't speak about it. I can't pretty much can't speak about anybody else out there, but we're going to keep it real here. When the New Day first debuted and doing what they were doing, the dominant society wouldn't accept them. They wasn't going to accept three black guys trying to be positive all the time. They wasn't going to accept that. So they needed to have some type of edge. So instead, what they had to do was they had to be heel, obviously, but then they had to add extra antics to it just to get people to laugh too. And then they start to get over, then they become faces. Now everybody loves the New Day, becoming a straight up minstrel show act. That's what they had to do to get the dominant society's approval of it. So the question I got with this is the WWE going to flinch if this doesn't get accepted? And that goes to my second question. Will these same fans who's been clamoring and asking for R-Truth to be back and all this other stuff that a lot of y'all keep saying, now that he made it clear that R-Truth was dead, if they going to keep doing this, are y'all going to ride with this until the end? That's my question. All that fanfare, all that other stuff. Now that R-Truth is now Ron Killings, are you guys gonna pretty much gonna get on this train and ride with it? I know I am, as long as that's where it's gonna go to. Because trust and believe, once he goes back, or if he goes back to being that 1950s Bugs Bunny cartoon bullshit, I'm out. Straight up and down, I'm out. Now the question is again, are y'all gonna ride with it if it's gonna stay consistent? We will see. We will definitely see if that's going to be the case. But I will say, for this 1 week, I will be positive about it. This 1 week, I'm going to give it a thumbs up. But it's just 1 week. We will see what happens. You get to the chat here. Hopefully it's early TNA Ron's Killings and not post 3 Live Crew, Pac-Man Jones, Ron Killings. Oh, man. One thing I wonder is what happens if the business stagnates, even with Truth there, and they will release him again like Drake Maverick. Wouldn't surprise me at all. There was somewhat chance during Ron's promo, though. Yep. I definitely noticed that. I noticed that too, JC. I noticed that. But it's like I said, I'm going to give it a chance, and I'm going to see where it's going to go. But those are the two questions I got, and I'm going to keep an eye on that each week. But we will see. Banana Nose will screw up Ron Killings guaranteed. It definitely would not surprise me. It definitely wouldn't surprise me. Would not surprise me at all. So there was more things that happened here on Raw. So, ladies and gentlemen, tonight on Raw was the end of an era. And end of an era. And what do you mean by that? Well, on tonight's Raw, we saw a brand new World Heavyweight Champion, Gunther, or is how I would call him, Big Van Walter, is the new World Heavyweight Champion. and he defeated Yeet Man. Now, it's not surprising, but I really got to be honest. I am kind of sad for Yeet Man because, listen, we can talk about how he is as a singles performer. And yes, he's pretty mid as a singles performer. But as a WWE guy, he pretty much fit what that fan base wants, or so I thought that they wanted. He had the cool little entrance, very engaging with the crowd. He has a cool look. He comes off cool. It's like, what else can you ask for? And then tonight, Gunther is now the new world champion. Now, I pretty much don't know where all that's going to go with the world title, anything. Like it's pretty much like they don't really make it mean anything any damn way. But one of the questions I got, well, the main question I got though is, what's with all of the hate for Yeet Man? And when I mean the hate for Yeet Man, I'm mainly talking about the Fed online fan base. Now, there's some of y'all, like I said, a lot of y'all will talk about, his in-ring stuff, and I get that. But for that fan base, I'm just wondering where all this hate came from. The hate, the loud minority on the internet. Where did all this come from? Because it's not like y'all was acting like this last year. It wasn't like y'all was acting like this 2 years ago. Wasn't like y'all was acting like this 3 years ago. Wasn't like you guys were acting like this all the way back to the pandemic in that Hell in a Cell match with Roman Reigns. What happened? What happened? I pretty much just find that just very, very fascinating that so many people was turning on Yeet Man. And the crazy thing is that y'all motherfuckers created this shit. Y'all created this shit. I didn't create this. My chat didn't create this. A lot of people I rock with didn't create this. Y'all created this. Y'all created Yeet Man. Y'all was the one yeeting. Y'all was the one that was going crazy when Yeet Man and Roman Reigns had that Hell in a Cell, and you guys was like, oh my God, that was one of the greatest Hell in a Cell matches of all time. The psychology, the storytelling, this man can be a main eventer one day. And then the bloodline storyline came in and y'all was gassing that shit up. Oh my God, I think Jey Uso, he may be the next one. He may be the next one. Then he breaks out of it. Then he wins the Royal Rumble. He wins the title at WrestleMania. And now it's like, fuck him. I don't get it. I really don't get it. And I found it very fascinating too. I just find it very fascinating because Yeet Man is what y'all created. And Yeet Man is what y'all want. I don't know. I don't know. What's going on, G Nation? Triple Nazi looked disgusted. He has to take that photo with R-Truth. Man, that would surprise me. Uso must not have been working. I think the hate comes from the bloodline family is too dominant, like the Die Rocky Die. Maybe so. I don't know. But that's just one of the fascinating things I could say about the whole discourse with the Fed lately. All right. So, some other stuff that happened. So, let me take this down. So, with all this being said, there are just some things I don't get, some things I just don't understand. And especially there's certain eras in wrestling that I just wish would die and not be reminded of anymore. Anymore. And one of those things happened tonight on this episode of Raw. And that was the return of Nikki Bella. Now I heard about Nikki Bella returning, and I'm just like, why? For what? Now, sure, there's the Evolution pay-per-view coming up, and I think that's the main reason why she's back. But even with the Evolution pay-per-view being back, why? Why? what does Nikki Bella like offer these days in today's women's wrestling era? And again, on this channel, on this platform, we're gonna be blunt. We're gonna be blunt with this shit. I don't want no divas on my television show anymore. No remnants of them at all. Go away. Go away. That includes Nikki Bella. I'm sorry. I do not care about Nikki Bella being back. And my God, oh my God, man, this segment she had with Liv Morgan too. mm, yeah. But again, I guess this is just to set up either the Bella Twins against Judgment Day for the tag team titles, possibly have the Bella Twins have a tag team title reign, whatever, I guess. But who cares? Who cares? I know I don't care, especially as someone who's a women's wrestling fan, a real women's wrestling fan. And yes, I'm going to be elitist when I say that, a real women's wrestling fan, not these geeks out here who want to go ahead and only watch WWE or AEW and call themselves a women's wrestling fan. I mean, yeah. And plus, not only that though, but want to be all softball with it and not trying to say who's good and who's bad and who don't need to be here, and just trying to be honest if a women's match should main event or go on last or not. But that's just me though. Anyways, Nikki Bella's back. I guess for anybody that thinks she's hot or whatever, or like her to do her little dance or whatever. I mean, fine, but don't care. I don't care. Anyways, enough of that nonsense. Let's get to the chat. Let's get to the chat. Meanwhile, Jimmy is chilling at the BET Awards. Bro, like with Jimmy, like now look, now a lot of y'all want to talk about Yeet Man's in ring and him as a singles. Jimmy is worse than Yeet Man. I know that. Jimmy has no future as a single star. The only way he's going to succeed is if he's shoved down our throats. That's the only way. Oh no, Nikki Bella, who asked for this? Whose bingo card was she on? I don't know. Oh yeah, John Cena's ex came back, and even back then she had the better work rate. She was still very low. The only thing really she had going for her as far as in ring was that rolling elbow, and people want to do funny memes that she's like Masao or whatever. But besides all that, it is what it is. So, so we talked about Night of Champions with Punk and Cena, but there's also some other stuff that's going to be going on at Sweet Saudi Money, and that is the King of the Ring tournaments. So the King of the Ring tournaments started on this show tonight here, and we got the Queen of the Ring. Hopefully, I got the King of the Ring. I thought I had the King of the Ring first, but anyways, looking at this here, we got the brackets for the Queen of the Ring. And look, I don't know what is up with Big Nose's obsession with having triple threats and four ways in the first round. It looks so tacky to me. Now, sure, I guess you can say that it may be creative or something different. I just think it looks really, really tacky. I think it really just looks very, very tacky to me. But anyways, we had the first round, Ripley, Sane, Morgan and Perez. Roxanne Perez advanced. And then we got these other four ways. So if I can make a prediction for the Queen of the Ring, Roxanne already advanced, and she would have not been my prediction either. If I could take a chance up top in the SmackDown top right, I'm not seeing Flair or Bliss advance, and I think Flair and Bliss may either become a tag team or have a feud just based off of that. Uh, Possible Candice. Okay, so I'll pretty much go with Chelsea Green. Then down at the Raw bracket at the bottom, Asuka, Valkyria, Rodriguez, and Nile. I'm gonna go with Asuka because I don't think they want Valkyria to lose now. Well, shit. I'm gonna go with Vakir. I'm gonna go with Vakir and beat Chelsea Green to go to the finals. Perez, and I'm predicting possibly Jade. Now maybe I may get that wrong. I may get that wrong, but because again it's WWE booking. But I'm gonna say Jade beats Perez, goes to the finals. Ah man. Mm. Okay, so I'm pretty much gonna predict that Jade's gonna win the Queen of the Ring, basically. Now, if it's Vakir and Green goes to the finals, I mean, sure. I mean, it wouldn't be a big deal if Jade pins Vakir, but I'm predicting Jade Cargill is going to win the Queen of the Ring tournament. And that's how I see it. Now, I can be completely wrong. Most likely I am going to be wrong because it's WWE booking, but there you go with that. Ah, god damn it. So yeah, so I end up I end up putting the Queen of the Ring twice, but anyways, those are my predictions for the Queen of the Ring. Wish I had the bracket for the men's, but whatever. Let's get to the chat. Definitely channel changing heat. Liv Morgan with that. I have a man line towards Nikki Bella considering how Nikki's marriage ended. Bro, man, that was so bad. Yeah, that was so bad. Speed run qualifications for Queen and King of the Ring. I'll go with the stupid prediction and say Chelsea Green as the winner, and she does the stupid queen gimmick. You know what? That wouldn't surprise me either. That wouldn't surprise me either. But the other thing too, though, I'm thinking though at the same time is that the winner gets a championship match at SummerSlam. So that's the so yeah. So I mean, so that was the main thing I was looking at because I think they want to make Jade champion, even though they haven't presented Jade as a contender, as a qualified contender. But I'm thinking they might want to do that, but I could be wrong. Like I said, again, it's WWE booking. Sometimes I give them way too much credit, but we'll see. Anyways, uh, so we do got some news to share from this morning, and I don't know how legit this is, but so apparently Worlds Collide like broke some type of record, I guess, for like the highest live view count ever for WWE on their YouTube channel or something like that to that effect. And I could say is, you know, pretty much good for them. Pretty much good for them. And I think that's possibly giving them the green light to do another AAA WWE joint show. So yeah, I would say from that standpoint, that's a success, especially for it to be for free. But also, too, one Mr. Iguana has been getting his flowers. And from what I understand, this was on Raw. They did a video package for Mr. Iguana on Raw. You know, like I'm not sure if that's confirmed, but I was looking on their Twitter account and then I saw a Mr. Iguana uh, page here, and it looks like he was in the PC. Now, I did check out Mr. Iguana's Instagram page earlier this morning, and I think he was taking pictures at the PC, and I think that's what he was doing. So I find that kind of interesting. But Mr. Iguana was definitely the star of Worlds Collide. A lot of people like was gravitated towards him and his gimmick, and yeah, that's just another guy who in my opinion, exemplifies what that fan base wants. Quote unquote characters, right? Anyways, moving on to the next thing here. Uh, so I want to kind of switch gears a little bit on this next one here because, as a lot of you guys know, there's been a lot of WWE releases over the past few months. And with that, there's always that opportunity to, I guess, reinvent yourself or maybe to a certain point kind of get your mojo back. And there's a lot of people that I really look forward to seeing as far as what they do afterwards, whether they get released or not. And one of them is one Shotzi Blackheart, aka Shotzi in WWE. Now, since then, she's been getting a lot of bookings, especially at one of the more prominent independent promotions out there. And I am aware a lot of y'all are not big fans of this promotion, but for her to get booked like this in GCW already with these dates, and she started last weekend, all these dates, that is a good thing for people like her. That is a good thing for people like her. But the reason why I want to highlight Sashi in particular is that I really want to do a reflection on her real quick, because I think with her, it's not about the in ring with her for me, because again, I know a lot of y'all focus on the in ring stuff, and I do myself as well. But when I look at Sachi in particular, I think WWE really missed an opportunity to really market her as something different. I think she has that marketability that a lot of people do not see, because she looks too different. She stands out. And again, it's not about her wrestling. It's her look, her personality, the fact that she still looks good, the tattoos, everything about this woman, she stands out. And I think WWE really dropped the ball on not marketing her as such, even down to her entrance with that tank coming out there. All of it was so different, and it stood out so well. And again, I think WWE really missed an opportunity to do that. Now, granted, she did have injuries and whatnot, but also at the same time, there was a point where she was a baby face. Then they turned her heel for no reason. Then had her heel for a long time and didn't really do anything, even when she was healthy. And it's just start and stop, start and stop, start and stop. But moving the match quality out of the way, I'm thinking dollars here. I'm thinking dollars. I think if they really would have pushed that train on her, she really would have made that company a lot of money. But that's just me. That's just me here. And before head to my last topic, yo, bro, I pretty much just had to put this picture up here. God damn, she looked bad as fucking this. God damn, she looked. Woo. God damn. I just had to put that one up there. Okay, thank God for the video package. I thought we weren't going to get one to get me to care for this green color swap of gold. That's oh shit. If WWE was competent, Sashi could have been another leader with the mic runs working. Bro, I had that same comparison. I had that same comparison. And if you look back at Lita, again, Lita stood out from the rest of the divas. Or like the rest of the divas were all the same, but Lita stood out, you know. And I was pretty much saying that same exact thing. And again, a lot of people weren't going crazy over Lita for her in-ring ability. It was her personality, it was her charisma, it was her look that stood out, and it made her marketable and made her what she was. Anyways, let me get to this last topic here before I head out here. So look, one last thing that happened on Raw, and to no big surprise, and I guess we'll see what happens. But tonight on this show, we had the return of Bayley. The return of Bayley. She's back. She is back. There's been a lot of questions, a lot of rumors. The Chris Van Vliet thing had a lot of people talking, but for the time being, she is back. And it looks like she'll be feuding with Becky Lynch for the Intercontinental title. Now, the only thing I don't like about this, and I'm just going to be completely honest, the only thing I really don't like about this is that I do think before Bayley had returned, I do think that Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch had to finish their feud, because it looks like now that is going to be some type of triple threat match thing going on. And I don't want to see that. Like I have been enjoying the Becky Lynch Lyra Valkyria story for the most part. And I do think they have a lot more layers to get to before they kind of add more people to the mix. And granted, I am aware that Becky kayfabe wise attacked Bayley, but again, I would much rather have this story with Becky and Lyra keep unfolding before we get the Bayley stuff included here. But that's just me, though. That's just me. But Bayley's back. Bayley looks good to me. That's another thing too. I really don't know what's up with. I really don't know what's up with some of these clowns that say that Bayley don't look good. Look at this and all that damn white, looking all tight and snug in that. Anyways, purple-haired Bayley. Anyways, that's gonna be it here for this one. I appreciate everyone for coming in. Man, yeah, CM Punk is going to Saudi Arabia. Hilarious times are ahead. Hilarious times are ahead here. And if it turns out I'm back here again, obviously you guys will know, but it's getting late. I'm about to head to bed. I may come back tomorrow, maybe talk about some TNA stuff. I do got some other topics that I have written down, but we'll see, just depending on how it is here. I will talk about some other stuff as well, like AEW, hopefully some Lucha stuff, some Puro stuff, Josie stuff, all that jazz. But for now, you guys got some Fed stuff. I know a lot of y'all like me to talk about some Fed stuff for some sick ass reason, but you had 2 nights in a row. You had 2 nights in a row of me talking about it. So there you go. Bayley is the moderns, Sophia Castillo. But anyways, y'all, I appreciate y'all for coming in. And with that, I'll check y'all later.